Because when you stop reaching out, you finally begin to see the reality you've been avoiding. You begin to see how many times you've given chances that were never deserved. You begin to see how much of yourself you've poured into a connection that would collapse without your effort. And you begin to see that maybe, just maybe, you deserve more than this constant cycle of waiting, hoping, and being let down. Sometimes silence is not empty. It is full of truth. It carries the weight of everything they never said, everything they never showed, everything they never gave. And once you allow yourself to listen to that silence, you can no longer deny what it reveals. People will show you who they are, not with promises, not with excuses, but with patterns. If their pattern is to never call, never text, never initiate, then that is who they are choosing to be in your life. And you have to stop rewriting their behavior in your head. You have to stop imagining that maybe they care deep down but don't know how to show it. You have to stop believing that your effort will eventually inspire theirs, because love is not inspired by pressure. It is expressed by desire. If someone desires you in their life, you will know. You won't need to question it. You won't need to force it. You won't need to beg for it. And I know it's hard. I know how painful it is to pull back when your heart still wants to reach out. I know how difficult it is to sit in silence when everything inside you is screaming to break it. I know how unnatural it feels to stop doing what you've always done, to stop being the bridge that keeps the connection alive. But let me ask you something. What has constantly reaching out brought you? Has it brought you peace, or has it brought you exhaustion? Has it given you the love you long for, or has it deepened the ache of feeling unseen? Has it made you feel secure, or has it made you more anxious every time your message goes unanswered longer than you hoped? When you look at it honestly, you will see that your effort has not brought you closer. It has only carried the illusion of closeness. Because true closeness cannot be built by one person alone. True closeness requires two people leaning in, two people reaching out, two people making each other a priority. And if you are the only one leaning in, then you are not building intimacy. You are building dependency. You are building a bond that survives only because of you. And the moment you stop, the bond breaks. That is not the kind of love you deserve. So if they never call or text you first, just do this. Release yourself from the illusion. Release yourself from the fantasy that maybe one more message, one more call, one more reminder will change things. Release yourself from the belief that your worth is tied to their attention. Release yourself from the hope that someone who cannot see your value today will magically wake up to it tomorrow. Because your worth is not waiting to be discovered by someone else. It is waiting to be acknowledged by you. And the day you acknowledge it, you will stop begging for love in places where it does not exist. Think about how many times you've silenced your own needs just to keep the peace. Think about how many times you've told yourself, it's okay, maybe they'll reach out tomorrow. And tomorrow came, but nothing changed. Think about how many times you've accepted the bare minimum because you were too afraid of having nothing at all. And in doing so, you've taught yourself to settle for crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. You've taught yourself that your love should be patient enough to wait forever, forgiving enough to excuse every absence, desperate enough to cling even when there's nothing to hold on to. But what has that taught them? It has taught them that they don't need to try. It has taught them that your presence is guaranteed. It has taught them that you will always show up even when they never do. And that is the cycle you must break. Because the moment you stop, the moment you pull back, the moment you create distance, you shift the power dynamic. You are no longer the one chasing. You are no longer the one begging. You are no longer the one proving. You are simply being, you are allowing the truth to reveal itself. And if they care, they will come forward. If they want you, they will reach out. If they see your value, they will show it. And if they don't, then you have your answer. And that answer will free you from wasting more of your life on someone who is never really there. And let me tell you something important. The right people will never make you feel this way. The right people will never make you question whether you matter. The right people will never let days or weeks pass without reaching out. The right people will never leave you wondering if you are the only one who cares. Because when someone truly values you, they cannot stay away. They cannot stay silent. They cannot go on with their life as if you don't exist. When someone truly cares, they will find reasons to reach out, not excuses to avoid it. But you will never experience that kind of love as long as you are clinging to the wrong one. You will never meet the right people as long as you are holding space for those who do not deserve it. You will never receive the kind of effort you crave as long as you are pouring yourself into someone who gives nothing back. And that is why pulling back is not about punishing them. It is about protecting you. It is about making space for something better. It is about declaring to yourself that you will no longer accept imbalance, indifference, or inconsistency as love. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop trying. Sometimes the most powerful step you can take is to let the silence speak. Sometimes The clearest way to see the truth is to stop covering it with your effort. And when you do, you will realize that silence doesn't kill connections, it exposes them. If the bond is real, silence will strengthen it because the other person will step forward. If the bond is weak, silence will shatter it because there was never anything real to begin with. Either way, you win. Either way, you gain clarity. Either way, you save yourself from years of waiting for something that was never meant to be. I want you to picture this. Picture yourself no longer checking your phone every few minutes for their message. Picture yourself no longer overanalyzing why they didn't respond. No longer crafting the perfect text to restart the conversation. No longer feeling your heart sink when the notification isn't from them. Picture yourself free from that weight, from that cycle, from that constant chase. Picture yourself living your life without the burden of always wondering if you matter. That is what pulling back gives you. It gives you freedom. It gives you peace. It gives you the chance to redirect all that love, all that effort, all that energy toward yourself and toward people who actually value it. And isn't that what you deserve? To feel wanted, not tolerated. To feel chosen, not convenient. To feel prioritized, not optional. To feel loved, not just entertained when they're bored. That is what you deserve. And that is what you will never receive from someone who never calls or texts you first, because effort speaks louder than words. And their lack of effort has been speaking to you all along. You've just been too afraid to listen. You have to understand something. People treat you the way you allow them to. If you keep initiating, if you keep giving, if you keep tolerating their silence, then you are teaching them that it's okay to never try. You are teaching them that they don't have to make an effort because you will always make up for it. But the day you stop, the day you pull back, the day you show that you will no longer carry the weight of two people is the day they learn that your love is not guaranteed. And that is the day you begin to reclaim your power. You see, love is not proven by who texts first. Love is proven by who shows up consistently. And if they cannot do something as small as sending a message, what makes you believe they will show up for the bigger things in life? If they cannot take a few seconds to check in on you, what makes you believe they will stand beside you in moments of struggle? If they cannot initiate the smallest act of effort, what makes you believe they will offer the effort that real love requires? Their silence in the little things is a warning for the bigger things, and you cannot keep ignoring it. So if they never call or text you first, just do this: stop betraying yourself by chasing someone who does not choose you. Stop wasting your precious time waiting for someone who is not waiting for you. Stop giving your all to someone who cannot even give you the bare minimum. Because you are not here to beg for love. You are not here to prove your worth. You are not here to be someone's afterthought. You are here to be loved deeply, fully, intentionally. And that begins when you stop settling for anything less. And when you finally stop, when you finally step back, when you finally allow the silence to do its work, you will see who was truly with you and who was only there because you carried them. You will see who values you enough to reach out and who disappears the moment you stop trying. And though it may hurt, though it may break your heart, it will also heal you. Because sometimes healing comes not from holding on, but from letting go. Sometimes strength is not in fighting for them, but in fighting for yourself. Sometimes love is not in chasing another, but in choosing you. And when you begin to choose yourself, everything changes. You no longer look at unanswered texts as a reflection of your worth. You see them as a reflection of their capacity. You no longer measure your value based on how quickly someone replies, but based on the way you show up for yourself. You no longer beg for attention because you understand that your presence is already a gift. And if they cannot see it, that blindness belongs to them, not you. Think about how much lighter you would feel if you weren't constantly overthinking every silence. Think about the freedom in not waiting by the phone, in not checking the time since your last message, not replaying conversations to find hidden meanings. Think about what it would be like to redirect that energy into your passions, your growth, your healing. Because the truth is, the love you've been exhausting yourself to find in them could have the love you've been denying yourself all along. If they never call or text you first, just do this. Remind yourself of all the things you bring to the table. Remind yourself of your kindness, your loyalty, your humor, your depth. Remind yourself of the ways you make people feel safe, the way you show up, the way you care so deeply it radiates through every action. Remind yourself of all the qualities you give so freely to those who don't deserve them. And imagine what it would feel like to give them to someone who does. Or better yet, to give them back to yourself. Because you've been starving for love while sitting at your own feast. The problem is, we think we need someone else to validate our love, to mirror it back to us, to prove it's real. But love is already real inside you. You are already capable of giving the kind of love that heals, that supports, that uplifts. And the first person who should feel that love is you. If they never call or text you first, that's your sign to redirect that love. Because while you've been chasing a response that may never come, you've been ignoring the one person who has always been there, you. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but what if they do care? What if they're just not expressive? What if they're shy or insecure or bad with communication? And maybe that's true. Maybe they do care in their own quiet way. But here's the thing, love without expression is invisible. Care without effort is unrecognizable. Intention without action is meaningless. You cannot build a relationship on what ifs, maybes, and excuses. You cannot sustain a bond on hidden feelings that never translate into visible gestures. You cannot feel loved by someone who never shows you love. Because at the end of the day, love is not what you feel, it's what you do. And if what they do is nothing, if what they do is stay silent, stay absent, stay indifferent, then that is the truth, no matter what they may secretly feel. And you deserve truth more than you deserve false hope. You deserve actions more than you deserve empty words. You deserve presence more than you deserve promises. You deserve someone who shows up without being asked, who thinks of you without being reminded, who makes the effort without needing a reason. You deserve that kind of love and nothing less. So if they never call or text you first, just do this. Stop chasing shadows. Stop investing in ghosts. Stop wasting your tears on people who are alive but dead to your needs. Stop feeding energy into connections that only drain you. Because when you stop, you open the door for something real. When you stop, you create space for people who will show up. When you stop, you protect your heart from further cracks. And when you stop, you realize that you are not hard to love. They were just incapable of loving you. And the irony is, when you pull back, often that's when people notice. That's when they suddenly remember your value. That's when they come running, not because they suddenly love you more, but because they miss the comfort of your effort. They miss the way you made them feel important, the way you filled the silence, the way you carried the connection. But you must be careful here, because just because someone comes back when you stop doesn't mean they're here to stay. Sometimes they only come back to take more of what you gave, not to give you what you deserve. And you must have the strength to recognize the difference, because love is not proven in the chase. Love is proven in consistency. Anyone can show up once when they feel your absence, but the one who loves you will keep showing up over and over again without needing reminders. So don't mistake temporary attention for permanent commitment. Don't confuse curiosity with care. Don't settle for someone who only shows up when you pull away, because love should not be a game of hide and seek. Love should not require you to disappear in order to be seen. The truth is, your soul is too precious for half efforts. Your heart is too pure for conditional love. Your time is too valuable for inconsistent people. You cannot keep pouring your light into those who only see you when you dim. You cannot keep giving your loyalty to those who haven't earned it. You cannot keep chasing connections that crumble without your constant effort. Because one day you'll wake up and you'll realize you've spent years waiting for a message that was never meant to come. And that realization will break you unless you decide today to break the cycle first. So if they never call or text you first, just do this let go with grace. Not with anger, not with resentment, not with bitterness. Let go with grace, because holding on has only hurt you. Let go with grace, because clinging to one-sided love has only drained you. Let go with grace, because you deserve to move forward without carrying the weight of their absence. Let go with grace, because your future deserves space for people who will never make you doubt your place in their lives. And when you let go, when you stop waiting for a call that never comes, when you stop hoping for a text that never arrives, something magical happens. You begin to return to yourself. You begin to remember what it feels like to live without constant anxiety. You begin to enjoy your own company again. You begin to find joy in little things, peace in solitude, strength in independence. You begin to glow differently. And that glow attracts people who see your value without you needing to prove it. Because the truth is, the love you've been craving does exist. The effort you've been hoping for is real. The person who will call first, text first, reach out first, they are out there. But you will never meet them if you are stuck waiting for someone who won't even type a simple hello. You will never experience the depth of mutual love if you keep drowning in shallow waters. You will never find the right one if you keep holding space for the wrong one. And that is why you must stop. You must let go. You must create space for the love you truly deserve. And when you do, you will look back one day and wonder why you ever begged for what was always your birthright. You will wonder why you accepted silence as love, why you tolerated absence as care, why you convinced yourself that minimal effort was enough. You will wonder why you gave so much of your beautiful heart to someone who couldn't even give you a fraction of theirs. And you will promise yourself never again. Never again will you settle. Never again will you chase. Never again will you measure your worth by someone else's effort. Because if they never call or text you first, the message is clear. They are not your person. They are not your safe place. They are not your future. And you are not obligated to keep waiting for someone who was never meant to walk beside you. You are free to release them. You are free to move forward. You are free to love yourself enough to know that silence is not where love lives. And maybe one day they'll realize what they lost. Maybe one day they'll regret not reaching out. Maybe one day they'll remember how you always cared, how you always showed up, how you always loved without hesitation. But by then, it won't matter, because by then, you'll have found someone who never needed to lose you to see your value, someone who never needed your silence to appreciate your voice, someone who never needed to be reminded to reach out because loving you is effortless for them, someone who calls first, texts first, shows up first, not because they have to, but because they want to. And that is the kind of love worth waiting for. Because when you finally see the difference between someone who makes excuses and someone who makes effort, your whole world shifts. You stop confusing indifference with mystery. You stop calling their neglect just the way they are. You stop dressing up their absence as independence. You stop lying to yourself just to protect the fragile idea of what you wish the connection could be. Because the truth is, love does not hide. Love does not stay silent. Love does not wait for you to do all the work. Love is alive, and you can feel it in the way someone reaches for you, not only when you reach for them. If they never call or text you first, just do this. Stop trying to convince yourself that it's enough. Stop lowering your standards to accommodate their lack. Stop shrinking your needs because you're afraid of losing them. Stop pretending that their silence doesn't hurt you. Stop gaslighting yourself into believing that you're too needy, too demanding, too much. You are not too much. You are simply giving too much to someone who offers too little. And the sooner you admit that, the sooner you can reclaim your heart from this endless cycle of waiting. You deserve to be with someone who is excited to talk to you. Someone who doesn't just respond when you reach out, but who can't wait to reach out to you first. Someone who thinks of you in the middle of their day and sends a message just to say, I miss you. Someone who doesn't let days pass without checking on you because their heart naturally wants to be connected to yours. You deserve to feel like you are a priority, not a backup, like you are wanted, not tolerated, like you are cherished, not overlooked. And you will never feel that with someone who never calls, never texts, never makes the effort. And I know what it feels like to hold on anyway. I know what it feels like to cling to their potential, to believe that maybe deep down they care, that maybe one day they'll change. I know what it feels like to see the small moments, those rare times they do reach out, those occasional words that make you feel seen, and to hold on to them as proof that the love you want is there. But listen carefully, breadcrumbs are not a meal. Moments are not patterns. Occasional gestures are not consistency. You cannot build a lifelong bond on scattered pieces of effort. You cannot thrive on love that only shows up sometimes. You cannot keep starving yourself waiting for a feast that will never come. If they never call or text you first, just do this, pay attention to your own exhaustion. Notice how heavy it feels to always be the one reaching out. Notice how drained you feel when your energy isn't returned. Notice how your joy shrinks each time you realize you're the only one trying. Because your body knows when you are carrying too much. Your spirit knows when you are giving beyond your limit. Your heart knows when it is not being nourished. Stop ignoring that inner wisdom. Stop silencing the voice inside you that keeps whispering, you deserve more. And what is that more? More is someone who meets you halfway. More is someone who doesn't let you question where you stand. More is someone who makes effort not because you beg them to, but because they can't imagine not doing so. More is someone whose love is loud in action, not quiet in excuses. More is someone who shows you daily that you matter. More is someone who reminds you that love is supposed to feel safe, not uncertain. More is someone who sees your effort and matches it with their own, not someone who drains you while giving nothing back. But here is the truth that hurts. We cannot meet more if we refuse to release less. We cannot welcome better while clinging to what breaks us. We cannot hold space for someone who will truly love us while keeping our hearts hostage to someone who doesn't. That is why letting go is so important. That is why pulling back is so necessary. That is why silence is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It teaches you what is real and what is not. It shows you who cares and who never did. It frees you from illusion so you can finally open your eyes to the love you've been craving all along. And sometimes silence doesn't just reveal them, it reveals you. It reveals how afraid you are of being alone. It reveals how much you've attached your worth to someone else's attention. It reveals how desperately you've been searching for validation outside of yourself. It reveals the parts of you that still need healing, the wounds that make you believe you must settle for less just to avoid abandonment. Silence is uncomfortable. Yes, but it is also where growth begins. Because when you sit in it, when you allow yourself to feel the loneliness, the longing, the ache, you also begin to hear your own voice again. You begin to hear the truth you've been drowning out with constant chasing. You begin to remember who you are without their presence. And that is where the healing begins. If they never call or text you first, just do this. Choose to stop betraying yourself. Choose to stop staying where you are unseen. Choose to stop giving your heart to those who do not honor it. Choose to stop waiting for someone else to decide your value. Because every time you keep chasing, you abandon yourself a little more. Every time you keep hoping, you silence the voice inside that tells you this isn't enough. Every time you keep settling, you reinforce the belief that you are unworthy of more. But the truth is, you are worthy. You have always been worthy. The problem is not your worth, it's their inability to see it. And here's the freedom you don't need them to. You don't need their call to prove you matter. You don't need their text to validate your existence. You don't need their effort to confirm your beauty, your power, your light. You're already enough. And when you finally embrace the truth, you no longer beg for crumbs. You no longer wait by the phone. You no longer waste your nights wondering why they don't care. You stop, you breathe, you let go. And in that letting go, you create space for something far greater than what you've been chasing. Because the right person will never leave you questioning. The right person will never let silence stretch so long that it breaks your heart. The right person will not need you to always initiate because their heart will naturally reach for you. The right person will not keep you guessing because they will make it obvious. The right person will not make you feel like you are too much because to them, you will always be just right. And the right person will not only call or text you first, they will make you feel like they never stopped thinking about you. But until that person comes, you must protect yourself from those who don't. You must guard your heart from those who cannot give what you deserve. You must stop confusing neglect with love. You must stop calling their absence patience. You must stop lying to yourself just to keep the hope alive, because hope built on illusions will always betray you. Hope built on denial will always drain you. Hope built on crumbs will always starve you. So if they never call or text you first, just do this to close that chapter. Not because you hate them, but because you love yourself more. Not because you don't care, but because you finally do. Not because you are bitter, but because you are wiser. Close that chapter with gratitude for the lesson, with peace in your heart, with faith that what lies ahead is better than what you're leaving behind. Because the love that is meant for you will not hide. It will not stay silent. It will not let you question your place in someone's life. The love that is meant for you will call, will text, will show up. And when it does, you will wonder why you ever tolerated anything less. And in the meantime, give yourself the love you've been seeking. Wake up and tell yourself the words you long to hear. Text yourself reminders of your strength. Call yourself back into your own life. Pour into yourself so much that you stop craving the empty efforts of those who don't care. Because when you love yourself enough, you no longer accept silence as love. You no longer accept absence as effort. You no longer accept less than what you truly deserve.